I didn't tell you to start, but okay, mic check 1 2 um, hello, hi. For those who do not know me, my name is Deborah. A lot of people know me as Debbie or DJ because I am the owner of DJ Styles. My business is basically a hair salon, aka hair service. I provide braids, lock services, hair extension services, faux locks, passion twists, basically protective styling for both men and women in Miami and Florida. I do have my own salon suite located right off of Biscayne Boulevard, and I also travel to clients in Miami and Broward. So, I have been doing hair for, well, professionally, I've been doing hair for about 5 years now in April, and getting into the beauty industry has honestly been the best thing that I've ever done. I did get into this industry because of braids. As you can see, I did do my own hair and it matches my nails. But yes, I did get into the beauty industry professionally because I was a braider. I've been braiding hair since I was 6 years old. It was a cultural thing for me because I was raised by my parents who were Haitian, and I had aunties and cousins and sisters who were all into doing hair, but specifically with braids. And I grew up in that, loved it, and I've been styling people that I know ever since. And it's been one of the most liberating experiences to be able to be my own boss, make my own prices, have my own off days, and all the entrepreneurship good stuff that has to go with that. So the main purpose of this video is basically to, I want to educate you guys on the fact that YouTube is not cosmetology school, and there is a new law out there. Well, not necessarily a new law, basically a law that got retracted for braiders. And as of July 2020, braiders in the state of Florida no longer require a license in order to braid hair. That's right. So, due to the Occupational Freedom and Opportunity Act, I'll leave the link in the description below. Uh, and also, due to many people who have been raised in the braiding lifestyle, like I have with my Caribbean background, there's so many people all over different states who have also petitioned to remove the requirement of needing a license in order to be a braider. So due to that, and also with this new law for the Occupational Freedom and Opportunity Act, turns out that we braiders don't need a license anymore, right? So to the average person who wants to braid, this sounds great, right? Yeah, no, it's not. It's not great at all. So unfortunately, because braiders no longer require a license, that means anyone can call themselves a braider. They can charge clients and not be fully educated on how the hair and scalp works, understand different hair and scalp types, and also sanitation, which is very important, if not the most important thing. So, like I said before, I have been licensed for about 5 years now. And I highly suggest braiders to also get a cosmetology license, even if you just want to solely learn how to braid or just provide braiding services. I suggest going to school because there is so much that we're missing out on. Well, braiders are missing out on because they have not received the extensive education about different hair types. So, for those who don't know, cosmetology school is only 1 year long in the state of Florida specifically. It's about 1,200 hours. It teaches you, like I said, about different hair and scalp types, which is extremely important because everyone's hair and scalp type is not the same. And they teach you about sanitation, which is one of the most important things because when you're using tools on different clients, you are very liable to transfer dangerous microbial life to the next client if not sanitated in between or prior to the next one. prior to the next client. So, not knowing this can cause you to make a client get wingworms or other weird situations in their scalp, and you won't understand why it happened, or your clients won't come back to you, or you'll get a bad rep because of that. And you don't want that. I mean, sanitation is for safety, it's for our protection for you and the client. In cosmetology school, they go very in depth as far as, like I was telling you, hair and scalp types. You learn chemistry, you learn anatomy, you learn different diseases from seborrheic dermatitis, eczema, to staphylococcus. I'm not sure if I even pronounced it right. It's been a minute since I've been in school, but they give us an extensive list on different bacterias and different diseases and different skin conditions, because the hair and the skin and the nails are all part of the same system of the body, which I believe is pronounced the integumentary. I apologize if I'm botching the word, but it's all part of that same system of our body, which is the protective layer, which is also the most sensitive because it's what's on the outside protecting what's on the inside. So if we're not properly educated on how to use these tools, when to use these tools, especially in between clients, those who are not licensed could be liable to have a lawsuit or have a serious health situation arise with a client. So you don't want that. People don't talk about that, but that stuff is real and it happens. You'd be surprised how often it really does happen. And also, cosmetology school, they teach you how to properly seal the cuticle, okay, of the hair after it swells up, right? So I know you're like, what does that mean? Seal the cuticle? What is she talking about? Yes, so when I say seal the cuticle, I mean when braiders don't get the education that they're supposed to in school, they're liable to apply heat to the hair, from blow drying to flat ironing. They're liable to shampoo and condition the hair, and they're also liable to add chemicals to the hair like color and relaxer, because they're styling hair. They think, hey, I'm doing hair, I don't need a license to braid hair, I can do whatever I want. But that's not the case, and no, you cannot. Braiders cannot do this. so well, unlicensed braiders cannot do this. I know previously, before you required a license, so I don't know. Please do your due diligence on that, but I am aware of those who are not licensed, who are calling themselves braiders and are also charging clients for braiding services, must not fool with applying heat, applying chemicals, or shampoo and conditioning the hair. So now, when you say you can't add shampooing or conditioning to your services, you can't. And the reason for that is because in school, you're properly taught how to shampoo and condition hair. There are specific ways to massage the hair. There are specific ways to massage product into the hair, strip the hair clean with the shampoo, deep condition the hair, seal the cuticle of the hair once it's been opened. And yes, it's been open while you're shampooing and conditioning the hair. So, fun fact. Let me get some tea, y'all. I need some tea. Fun fact. Did you know that water swells open the hair cuticle? I bet you didn't know that. Well, I bet those who haven't gone to school doesn't know that. Now, the reason for that is because water has a pH level of 7. The pH level basically varies from acidic to alkaline. Acidic meaning it opens and it closes the cuticle. It closes the cuticle. Acidic means it closes the cuticle, and alkaline mean it opens the cuticle. Okay. Now, any substance with a pH higher than 5.5, which is the natural pH of our hair, skin, and nails, any substance with a pH higher than a 5.5 will raise, aka swell open, the hair cuticle. Okay? So, with that being said, this has to be done while shampooing, because this will help strip all the buildup out of the hair. So water is meant to swell up in the hair so that when you add the shampoo, it can strip out that buildup, right? So you can clean your hair very nice and good, get all that gunky shit out of there, and be able to go on about your business with a clean, full of hair after conditioning, of course. But when you condition the hair, using cool water will help lay the cuticle flat back down to prevent it from being prone to damage or breakage. Because leaving your hair cuticles open basically gives it more liability to strip, to break, to get weak, to have anything penetrate without properly closing, so that causes more damage. Open cuticles are never a good sign. You always want to seal your cuticles as often as you can and lay down that cuticle when styling or when you're done styling hair. So when you're done finishing your hair, your cuticle is laid down and protected or sealed in some way, shape, or form. Because walking around with open cuticles will cause damage. Now, yes, leaving your cuticles open without properly laying them down will cause breakage. But in school, you're taught the proper way to seal them back down. You're also taught how to use the proper products for the proper hair types, which is probably why most of you aren't having luck with what you're using at home. They also teach you how to properly sanitize your tools, like I was explaining before about microbial life that can be harmful to other people. How to properly apply heat to the natural hair while blow drying or using a flat iron without damaging it. That's the purpose, one of the main purposes of going to school. They teach you how to use it in moderation, ways to help maintain the integrity of the hair after you have done the heat service. Also, it's also probably why most of you who have not gone to school are not having any luck with your silk presses lasting for more than a week, or they just ain't coming out right. Okay, trust me, I used to be that before I went to school, of course. Then I got my life right. They also teach you how to use chemicals on the hair right away, the right way. I mean, they teach you how to use the chemicals on the hair the right way. I'm sorry, I'm reading off of my notebook to make sure I'm not off track. So that means they teach you how to use chemicals the right way. Applying relaxers at home without professional help is dangerous. You don't know the difference between vellus hair and terminal hair, so you're applying relaxer everywhere for too long, and that causes you to rip off your edges. Once again, with chemical products, it works. They teach you how to work with the best products to maintain the integrity of the hair after you have done a chemical service, like adding color, or done a relaxer service, like using neutralizing shampoo, which a lot of you guys are probably not doing and wondering why your hair is breaking off. Disclaimer: if you are putting on relaxer, whether it's a touch up or a virgin relaxer, and you are washing your hair afterwards to get that relaxer out, you must use a neutralizing shampoo. There is no way around it. A neutralizing shampoo helps neutralize the dangerous chemicals that are active in the scalp to help flatten and straighten that hair. So if it's not neutralized, meaning it doesn't stop the active ingredients, it will cause further damage. Your hair, the chemicals will continue to eat up at the hair, and your hair will continue to fall out, and you're going to be confused on what happened. Okay, so I highly suggest for those who are relaxing their hair at home, please be fully educated. Have a professional with you. If you have an auntie who's licensed, a friend who's licensed, somebody you know who owns a shop, please go to them or have them come to you, so that way you don't mess up your hair. I mean, we don't have any more hair to waste, and it's mostly because we're not educated, which is why we're wasting our hair. Okay, but we ain't got time for that no more. It's a digital age. We have too many resources and too many people at our fingertips to help assist us with our hair length and keeping the integrity of our hair strong. So yes, school also teaches you how to properly cut hair. Okay, so they go into specifics about degrees and angles. They also go into specifics about volume, how to apply bulk, how to add elevation, how to create symmetry. I mean, these things are not for the average person to just do on the head. Once again, everyone's head is different. Everyone's face shape is different. Everyone's head shape is different. Everyone's hair type is different. So there are different methods to achieve different looks, and only cosmetology school goes in depth with that. As I said, YouTube is not cosmetology school. No matter how much videos you want to watch or how many licensed professionals you want to watch, it's not cosmetology school. You will not get the in-depth training that you need to get to be fully educated on how to style hair, whether you're just braiding or whether you're doing any other protective styling. You got to go to school. You got to go to school. Yes, natural hair care licensing also qualifies you to be licensed, but I just recently discovered that several states do not offer natural hair care licensing, like Florida. So you're better off not being an unlicensed braider and just going all in with the braiding, but making sure you're educated while you're at it. So yeah, as I was stating, all these things, which is the chemicals, the cutting hair, you can't do any of these things as an unlicensed braider. I said what I said. You cannot do any of these things as an unlicensed braider, okay? So, because you have not been fully educated, and I'm not going to stop saying that, because you have not been fully educated, you are likely to damage a client's hair. So, I'm going to give y'all a list on what braiders can't do, since we've already laid out what braiders can't do, okay? So, we're going to talk about what you guys can do, all right? So, unlicensed braiders. You guys can braid hair with natural hair or braid hair with hair extensions, okay? So you can do either or. You can definitely braid hair, braid any hair type. You can go in with the braiding as an unlicensed braider, okay? You can also do hair wrapping, all right? So hair wrapping meaning faux locks, butterfly locks, distress locks, especially with extensions. You can do it, well, only with extensions. You can do these wrapping services. So if you're a faux lock specialist, a butterfly lock specialist, if your niche is in that category for locks, you're secure, you're safe, you can definitely work with extensions for locks and do that without a license and service your clients and start charging your clients right away. As far as one more thing on the list that you can do is sew-ins, but this one is pretty tricky. So for sew-ins, because this would have to be a full sew-in without any hair left out, because you cannot use heat on natural hair, okay? So the heat would have to be applied solely on the extensions to curl it up or to bump it up or whatever style it is that you want to do, but you can't apply it on that natural hair leave out. So if you do plan on providing services, sew-in services for your clients, make sure you're offering closures with the sew-in, so that way you can just sew that down and work with heat all throughout the head without damaging the client's natural hair. Or you can do a full quick sew-in, a quick weave, or a full sew-in where no hair is left out. Or even do your own full closure without leaving any natural hair left out, so you can apply heat and bump up the sew-in how you or the client sees fit, okay? Because applying applying heat to natural hair is a big no-no. It's a big no-no. It's a big no-no. You can't do that. Unlicensed braiders cannot do that, okay? So I listed those 3 things that you can do, all right? That would be braiding with or without extensions. That would be hair wrapping, meaning faux locks, butterfly locks, etc., and sew-ins, but without the natural hair left out, because you cannot apply heat to natural hair. So that's the industry braiders, unlicensed braiders can dominate, because those industries are not fully regulated, because they're also known as protective styling. And protective styling does not require too much maintenance. It does not damage the hair. If anything, protective styling is meant what it's supposed to do, like it says in the name. It's meant to protect the hair, okay? So I stress this to my students because the hair is very special. It's a very sensitive thing. It's a very precious thing to everyone, no matter who you are, no matter how careless you are with your hair. You care about your hair, okay? And when when unlicensed braiders damage it due to not being fully educated and licensed, these unlicensed braiders can have a lawsuit done against them. they can get fined due to a violation of the state requirements, or they can, well, not even or, and they can get a bad reputation. And unlicensed braiders, you don't want that. Your reputation is everything. Your reputation is how money keeps flowing in. Your reputation is how you build and create client retention, okay? You need that good reputation. So don't even bother getting into the beauty industry if you plan on just fucking up people's heads. Sorry, not sorry for cussing YouTube. But yes, okay? You cannot be getting in this industry just to get in because of the money. You're gonna lose sight, you're not going to last long, and you're gonna hurt somebody because you're not fully educated. And you don't want that, because we're all trying to make money. We're all trying to stay in the game for as long as we possibly can to get to our wealth. All right? So I teach students how to braid hands-on. I also certify them through the state of Florida only. So if you want a class with me, you have to come to my state. I did host a class in Georgia recently. I believe that was last year, a 10-student workshop, and I don't plan on stepping out of state anytime soon due to COVID, and honestly because I'm super busy in Miami already. I do provide one-on-one coaching, so I have free discovery calls for those who do not know how to get their feet wet in the industry, are still confused about being a braider or stylist in the beauty industry, who just need help, assistance, guidance, who have random questions. I can totally help with that. The discovery call is about 15 minutes, so I can basically see what you need help with, see if I'm a fit for you, see if you're a fit for me, see if it's even worth it to get any deeper, and if so, we then get into the one-on-one coaching, private call, which is a Zoom session, and I basically answer all your questions. I heal all your wounds. I look for all your boo-boos, whatever you're struggling with, and I help you, and I basically help you find a solution to your clutter, to your problems, to needing organization, to knowing how to build your beauty business, because the beauty business is very intricate. It has many layers, and there's many things that are very important that play a part into being a successful braider. I have been able to help my students fully understand their roles as a braider and what to stay away from and how to protect themselves. And it's honestly the best thing, because I was once confused when I first graduated cosmetology school, and I feel as though it's my duty to give help to those, or help educate those who are confused about how to get into the beauty industry and dominate the beauty industry. It is not oversaturated. There is no such thing. People want you for you. People want your skills. And it's about you positioning yourself the right way and knowing what you can and cannot do to be able to do that. Okay? So, yeah, if you guys want to link up with me, connect with me, all my information will be in the description below. I offer hands-on classes, I offer coaching, Zoom classes, webinars. I have a Braiders supply store on my full website. I also have a Braiders education section in my website where you can get hands-on virtual courses, all that good stuff. And I have so much more to offer, like marketing blueprints, ebooks. There's just so much. There's so much on my website, and there's so much more to give. So please be patient with me. I am slowly but surely getting these things rolled out. I tried to make this video as short as possible, and I hope I could educate you. Like I said, link with me, connect with me. Thank you for watching my video on my channel, and there'll be more to come.